Hey everyone, it's been a while and I just wanted to come on and do a little bit of an update, let you know I'm back in the saddle and tell you all about what's been going on and what you can expect in 2024 from the Noreen'S Kitchen channel. I can't wait to tell you what's happening. So let's get to it. So here we are. I hope that you guys, first of all, Happy New Year, a couple of months late. But Happy New Year nonetheless. I hope that you had a fantastic holiday season. I hope that your Thanksgiving was great. I hope that you all had a blessed Christmas. I hope that you spent really great quality time with family. And I hope that you got everything that you hoped for, wished for, and then some. Even if it was just spending time with family. Because sometimes that's the best thing that you can get, regardless of, presents don't even matter, you know? I think the older you get, the less presents mean. It's always nice to get a present, but, it's not even that big of a deal to me anymore. To me, it's like, I'd rather give presents and just spend time with my kids than anything else. So in any case, how has it been going? Things have been going on our end. We've just been kind of trying to maintain and recover health-wise and become healthy people. And, Rick is doing fabulous. And I think the last really good update that I gave you was in August, believe it or not. And at that point, I wasn't really doing great. Honestly, 2023 was a real challenge for me. Between my sinus issues, my hip issues, I had fallen into quite a depression, very, very unmotivated because I was not feeling well at all for an entire year, almost more than that. And I'm still not feeling great, not even 100%. But things are looking up, and I think that this season in my life is coming to a close. I can actually see that light at the end of the tunnel. I had surgery on my sinuses in November, and it really didn't do much. It did a little bit. Even still, my doctor is baffled. He doesn't really understand what's going on. I asked him if he's seen it before. He says, yes, but I've always been able to diagnose it. In your case, I can't. Because he can't pinpoint what the problem is. Everybody else he's seen, he could diagnose it because there were other things that he could point to say, well, it's cancer or it's this autoimmune disorder, and I don't have any of those markers, so we're just plugging along. About a month ago, I was so stuffed up, it felt like there was a golf ball stuck up in my nose. And I called and I said, I really can't stand this anymore. Is there anything you can do for me? I've been on several courses of prednisone. They were pretty mild. And they always helped to some degree. This last time, though, the doctor's like, all right, we're just going to blow it out of the water. And we're going to see that we're going to give you, he gave me a double dose of what he had been giving me for a double amount of time. So it was a very long taper. It was almost 3 weeks. And it was for a double amount of steroid. And it seems to have helped quite a bit. So, we'll see if it sticks. That's all I can say. I finished my taper a couple weeks ago. And honestly, the inflammation hasn't come back completely. But it is starting to try and creep in. But in the meantime, my husband contracted a cold and gave it to me, and, so I'm kind of getting over that. So if you hear a little stuffiness, that's what that is from. But we're getting over that, and everything is fine. As far as my hip goes, I'm supposed to go to the doctor. I have like 6 more pounds to lose before the doctor, who is a big stickler for the BMI as far as the surgery goes. And she won't even consider scheduling the surgery until I have lost the proper amount of weight in her eyes and reached the proper BMI to give me the surgery. Now, once I've reached that, she can do surgery on the right hip. And then once I've healed, 6 weeks later, we can do the left hip. And then I will be like a brand new woman, and I cannot wait. I'm so excited, and I'm so hopeful. I can't wait to not have to walk with a cane or walk grabbing onto my husband's arm just for balance. I'm really excited about all of that. And I'm excited for this year. I'm excited for all of the possibilities. I just am. I've been doing things in the background for the channel. I have been doing some branded merch. I had some merch in the past, and I kind of retired that collection through Teespring. Now we have a whole new collection I did over the weekend, and that should be appearing underneath the videos. So I released a new collection. It's called the Cooking Time Collection. This is branded with the Noreen'S Kitchen name and tagline. So it'll have Noreen'S Kitchen, real cooking for real people, or real food for real people, real easy on it. Now, I won't be putting my name and branding on everything I do. And that said, I also opened up an Etsy store where we will be doing mainly digital downloads, things like planners and journals and things that you can print out. I've already put up a couple of packets of grocery lists, like list papers that you can print out, and they're very, very cute with retro little ladies on them and snarky sayings, and I just love them. We did a packet with a menu planning sheet and a grocery list sheet. We've done a couple of other things. And then yesterday, I did a print-on-demand dish towel. I'm going to be putting up several more. These do not have any branding on them. They're just going to be really beautiful dish towels that you can order, and they will be shipped to your home when you order them. And so I'm creating those. We're going to do dish towels, pot holders, oven mitts. We're going to be doing some mugs. We're going to be doing some other things. If you can think of things that you would like to see, let me know in the comments section. And I'm going to do aprons also. In fact, the Cooking Time collection does have a really beautiful apron. It's really nice quality. I'm going to be doing a whole collection of aprons that have different things on them. But nobody has had an apron up until this point. So to say I was excited to see more than one place have an apron, because Teespring is who we work with through YouTube to put the merch underneath the videos. But then I'm working with another company to provide the print-on-demand merchandise through my Etsy shop, and then we'll go from there. So that's kind of exciting, and I think that just going from that perspective, there are a lot of things we can offer. So I think that I have a pretty good eye for really beautiful things like that. I really do love like the farmhouse theme. I love anything with florals, and stuff like that. I also, you know me, I absolutely love a good retro theme. That's always been my thing. I love retro. I love vintage. And speaking of retro and vintage, 2024 on our Noreen'S Kitchen channel is going to be the year of the vintage and retro recipe. And while I have always spent time doing retro recipes on our channel, this year we're really going to focus on those as a theme. And now I'm inspired by a creator from TikTok who also bleeds her short form videos into the Facebook Reels and Instagram Shorts and YouTube Shorts. But she, her name is Tara of All Trades. And I've seen her videos for at least the last year, where she has like her mom's recipe card file, like the picture recipe cards, like the Betty Crocker recipe cards. that you had from like the 70s, right? And she will pick one out and she will make it the way that it says on the card. And then she will feed it to her family, and then she will report back on how good it is. Now, this is from a woman who is, living life in this moment in time. And she's looking at these recipe cards going, that doesn't look so right. And every single time that she makes one of these recipes, she's always super surprised at how delicious they are. And I don't know why she's surprised, because they're just simple, delicious looking recipes that have really simple, accessible ingredients. Now, that being said, I went on a little trip to eBay because Tara inspired me. I thought, we're going to do a whole year's worth. Where'd you go? That's my cat, Rebel. Rebel. She's going to say hello. She's very chatty. Huh? You're a very chatty girl, aren't you, Rebel? What? Yes, she is. Went to eBay. I thought, well, I'm going to start with looking for this set of recipe cards that I remember having in our house growing up. And that was the McCall's All-American Recipe Cards collection. And it came in a plastic box with a clear lid. And it was the kind of thing that my mom acquired through, I don't even know the word for it. It was, you acquired each set of cards piecemeal every other week from the grocery store. And I grew up in Tucson, Arizona, and one of the main grocery chains there was A.J. Bayless. This was before Safeway came along. So we had A.J. Bayless, and I'm trying to think what else we had. There was like independent grocers. Really, there was A.J. Bayless was the big one. And then Safeway came along, and Fry's. There was Fry's. Anyway, A.J. Bayless used something called gold bond stamps. Now, nobody uses stuff like this anymore. Gold bond stamps were akin to green stamps. Every time you went grocery shopping, you got a gold bond stamp for every dollar that you spent. So if you spent $150, you got 150 gold bond stamps. And you grab a handful of booklets from the little gold bond stamp stand by the door, and you would take that home. And this was always the assignment for the kids, right? You'd sit at the kitchen table with the books, and then there were like 20 stamps per book. So 4 rows of 5 stamps. And you, as a kid, you would sit there. I used to hate it because I hate licking stamps. To this day, I will not lick a stamp, like a dry stamp. I won't even lick envelopes. I tape them shut. I just hate the idea of licking anything like that. It's gross to me. I worked in offices for so long that I just never ever did that. I just taped them shut with Scotch tape. But anyway, another tangent. Sitting there, putting the stamps in the books. So when you got a full book, I think a full book was 100 stamps. So, yes. So 5 pages of 20, that's 100 stamps. You could take 1 booklet of stamps or however many. So, the grocery store would have every now and then, you go to the grocery store. And I think still today you can do this at the grocery store. We have a Harris Teeter here where they do, like, they'll have cookware, or they'll have tableware like dishes or what have you. And you can use, not now, but every other week they'll come out with some new piece that you could buy at a discount or whatever. Now, with the gold bond stamps and the recipe cards, you could, with 1 booklet, you could get the packet of the recipe cards for a discounted price. So you got your box and all of your divider cards and your first packet for 1 booklet. and the discount. I don't even know how much it was or whatever. So we had the box and we had the divider cards, and then Mom would always get so we had the entire set of cards. But when you bought a set of cards, it's not like you bought a set of cards and it was a full set of cards for one section. It was a whole bunch of cards jumbled up together. So you had to take them home and you had to file them in the proper section. And then when you had your full set of cards, then you didn't have to do it anymore. But it was my job to do that. So every time we would get a new packet of cards, it was my job to sit down and file them appropriately. And I always looked forward to that so much. And then I used to spend hours just flipping through the recipe card file. Every single time we would get new cards, I would just look at them and read them. This is probably one of the reasons I have such a love of recipe books, cookbooks. I read them like novels. I absolutely love finding out where recipes come from, the provenance of them, the heritage behind them, and all of that. So this is probably one of the places that it all started, aside from the fact that my mother was a fabulous cook, and that she could cook anything, really. She would say she couldn't, but she could. It was just amazing what my mom could do. And she didn't need those recipe cards, but my mom was also the same way with cookbooks. And I am fortunate enough to have all of her cookbooks that she collected over the years since she's passed away. And I even have this fantastic Women's Day Encyclopedia of Cookery that was from like 1968. And I have those, and I love them because they have all these amazing photography in them. And look, these are recipes that are going to stand the test of time, but they're also recipes that have gone by the wayside, a lot of them. A lot of entertaining recipes and what have you. But back to the recipe card file, I found one of these complete sets because the one my mom had, my mom was also a purger. My mom would have a yard sale every year and go through the house like a whirling dervish, and she would just get rid of things, especially if she was getting ready to move somewhere and she didn't want to carry it with her, which I understand. The recipe card file was one of those things. I don't know what happened to it. It just went by the wayside. Somebody ended up with it, and they're probably enjoying it. But nonetheless, I was able to acquire one on eBay. It is a complete set. When I got it, it just, it made me happy. Like happy tears happy. Isn't that silly? You have these touchstones from your childhood, and you don't think when you get a recipe card file that you're going to work on a project for your job. And it's going to make you kind of tear up a little, but it did. But it made me so happy to have, and it makes me happy to have it. So I have that one. And then I thought, well, what else can I do here? Because I really want to have a variety. I don't want to have just that one. So I started looking, and I got the very first Betty Crocker recipe card collection, which is from 1970. This one, this is something, I'm telling you. It's really beautiful. The recipe file box is even pretty. I'm going to go through each one of these collections in its own video so I can show you guys what they look like. And then I'm going to I'll tell you about this in a minute, but the recipe card file for Betty Crocker's 1970 collection, it's beautiful, and it really, it's like money is no object, because there was no recession. There was no, everybody was entertaining. People were, having their friends over. There's even a section of cards in this file called preparing for the gala or the gala, however you want to say it. I guess if you're very, it's the gala, right? If you're Martha Stewart, you're preparing for the gala. If you're Snoop Dogg, you're preparing for the gala. I don't know. I love both of them, so it's okay. I really do love both of them, and that's the crazy part. I don't really love Snoop Dogg's music, but I love Snoop Dogg because I think that he's a comical character. He just really is. And I think that he would make an interesting dinner guest. I really do. I just don't think you can deny that. So I think that any recipe card file collection that has a section of recipes called Preparing for the Gala, I think that you know that there's a little bit of pretentiousness there, right? I feel like this is the recipe card file that not Martha Stewart doesn't have it, I'm sure, but maybe Ina Garten does. Because I think Ina, I don't know. Ina's a little pretentious, don't you think? Let's be real here. But then I went and I found the 1976 incarnation of the Betty Crocker recipe cards. And it's so different. It's so different. It really tells a story between the two of them. If the 1970 version was money is no object, the 1976 version is, we ain't got no money, honey. And this is what we're going to do with it. There's a whole section on what to do with ground beef. There's a whole section on budget-friendly meals. There's a whole section on freezer meals. There's a whole section on canning. There's a whole section on pantry meals. So it's all about how to deal with eating on a budget. And I'm looking at all of these section titles, and I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, this is like what we're going through right now. Because like they say, everything old is new again. It just really was kind of eye-opening to me, because it's like they say, everything is cyclical. And so this was 50 years ago, right? 1975, 1976, that's 50 years ago. And ish. And we're now going through a similar situation where people are pinching pennies like they've never pinched pennies before. Me included. Let me tell you, me included. I mean, both my girls, they moved out last year. They're getting a real lesson in how to economize. Here comes Tessie. So that's the next one that I purchased. I think I got 1, 2, 3, 4. I think I got 6 sets. No, I didn't. I may have gotten 8 sets. I may have gone a little crazy. The oldest one I got was from 1958, and it's called the Chef Index. And really, the only reason I got it was because when I found it, I'm like, this is from 1958. It's the coolest thing I've ever seen. And it's so old, and who knew? It really is like made for the newlywed housewife who's just married, and it even has its little like instruction booklet, its little guide booklet. It has like a calorie counter in it. It has how to plan meals. It has how to like do your grocery shopping, and it's just darling, is what it is. It's very compact, and it's very plain, but nonetheless, it's got a lot of very interesting recipes in it. And each card has more than one recipe. So the way the recipe card kind of idea has evolved, of course, these don't have pictures in them or on them, just plain recipes. And a lot of them, like I said, more than one recipe per card. But as I said, I'm going to do a video for each collection that I've gotten because I think it's super cool for you to see them. And it also tells a story. It tells a story of us as a society, where we've come from and where we're going. And it tells a story of how we deal with food, and how we feed our families, and how differently that happens throughout time. We feed our family differently in 1958 than we feed our family now in 2024. And when you think about it, because in the 80s, and we had this influx of processed food, that's when all of that happened, then everything changed. Even the recipe cards changed, because the set of recipe cards that I have from the late 80s going into the early 90s, this is when the recipe cards started including brand name products in the recipes. So we're really pushing the processed items, the brand name items. We're pushing branded companies, etc., in the recipes. So it becomes an advertisement more than a recipe, so to speak. It is always right there in front of you. Of course, you can make it your own and not put those branded items in there. But what I'm just saying is that it changes. That the recipe card file from 1958, when it calls for cream cheese, does not say Philadelphia cream cheese. It just says cream cheese. The recipe card file from 1988, when it says cream cheese, says Philadelphia cream cheese. So I really think that this says a lot about a lot of things. So it gives you pause, and it gives you things to think about. So what do we got? The 1958, and then that's the chef index. And then this one I found, and the only reason I got it, again, I got the chef index because I thought it looked really cool. And we may make a couple of things out of there, because that may just be fun. I got this other one. It's called, oh, what is it? It's called, I probably can't see it, but what is the name of that creamer? It's called International something. But it's the same name as the creamer, right? International. Is it Delights? I can't remember. Rick's yelling at me from the hallway. But it only has cocktails and appetizers in it. And I thought that was super cool. And it's a really beautiful little card file. The photography on it is spectacular. Each card has, you know, a beautiful photo on the front, recipe on the back. There's sections on beer. There's sections on wine. There's sections on spirits. There's sections on different cocktails and mixology recipes. There's different appetizers included in there. And one of the reasons I got that was because my daughter Micah, she's totally into this cocktail scene. She loves, her and her significant other Max, she and he love to entertain friends and have game nights. She bought a bar cart off of Facebook Marketplace, and this is where it all started for her. I got her a bar set for Christmas, and they've just been dabbling in learning how to make cocktails and seeing what they like and what they don't like. And so when I'm done with this particular recipe card file, it's going to her, because I just know that she's going to love it. And it'll be fun for us too, because appetizers are great. And so are cocktails. Let's be real. I love a good mixed drink. I am not a drinker, so to speak. I do not go out and drink. I am not a wine drinker. I do not really like wine at all. I like, in fact, I don't drink very much at all because I have a lot of medication I'm on. But every now and then, if I am able, I do enjoy a nice mixed cocktail. And I like sweet cocktails. So, you know, I am a girl, so there's that. Hey, hey, don't bite me. Her love language is biting, so, you know. Then the other one that I got, what else did I get? I got a Better Homes and Gardens from the late 70s, early 80s. And what else? I think there's one more. And I told you about the one from the late 80s, early 90s. I think that may be everything. Yeah, I think it is everything. So we're going to have a blast this entire year, and maybe then some, pulling cards out, having a look. I may figure out a way for you guys to pick a card, either through Instagram. We may say, we're going to use this file. I need you to pick a number like 1 through 18, which would be like the tab numbers on the index tabs. And then I need you to pick a number 1 through whatever for the card numbers inside that tab. So then we would be able to pull the card, and then that would be the card that we would make the recipe for. So I'll have to figure that out and decide how we're going to do that. But I think that would be fun. Now, years and years ago, there used to be a channel on YouTube called Recipes from a Hat. I don't know if any of you remember that. It was funny. It was fun. And it was interesting. But she used to, people would say, put this in the hat, and it would be like an ingredient. And she would put it in the hat, and then she would pull like 3 or 4 ingredients out of the hat, and then she would have to make a recipe from those ingredients. Some of them were scary, but she always did it. I'm pretty sure that is not on YouTube anymore, but I mean, I'm really reaching back like 2000s and early 2000s, like 2009, 10, 11. That's way, way back. So in any case, recipe cards are where it's at for us this year. I did have a notion. Now, I told you I had the Woman's Day Encyclopedia of Cookery. Now, I also came across on eBay the Family Circle Encyclopedia of Cookery that I really would like to get. And I the last thing I need is 16 more books of recipes. But I might get them because I don't know. The truth of the matter is we live in a digital society now, and we don't need to carry all of these things around with us. But I like books, and a digital society does not give you the tactile and olfactory experience of opening those books. It just doesn't give you the same thing. You open a book, it also doesn't give you that auditory experience, right? So a book gives you everything. It gives you a tactile experience and auditory experience because that book cracks a little bit when you open it. You can hear that page turning. It's satisfying, right? It has a smell. Not always a good one, because sometimes people keep those things in their musty basement, and that is not a fun smell. But books in general have their own fragrance, let's say. And mostly it's not that bad. Like I'm a scrapbooker paper crafter, and you can ask Rick, hey, watch yourself. Scrapbook paper pads, I love the way they smell. Now, granted, it is a combination of the glue and the ink and the paper. It just, I don't know. It just does something for me. But I'm also the kid who was sniffing the markers and the, mucilage. Do you remember mucilage? It was the rubber cement. Do you remember rubber cement? That's probably why I'm so weird. I don't know. I wasn't like sniffing glue. Just, I should probably stop there. Anyway, I'm trying to think of what else We talked about the Etsy store. We talked about the merch. I'm making a couple more collections for you guys. If you want to see something specific, let me know in the comments. If you want to see something that I haven't talked about, if there's a collection of recipe cards that you remember from when you were a kid that I haven't covered here, let me know. Just let me know. Maybe I can find it. I don't know. You know, I'm always open to that kind of thing. Right now, I have all these recipe cards in one of those metal craft carts, except for 2 of them that I have on my jar wall, which is where all of them are going to end up living, because I'm going to get a picture of all of them. It's going to be super cool. I can't wait to make videos of every one of them for you. So we're going to have lots of content coming your way. What I'm going to try and do now is I'm going to try and start making or uploading a video every day of the week for you. Probably not Saturday and Sunday, but Monday through Friday. And what I'm going to start also doing is I'm going to start pulling videos, like vault videos, like videos that are old, like from my channel, videos that are 5 years or older. I'm going to start re-editing them, and I'm going to start uploading them so that we can get fresh eyes on them, because I have a lot more subscribers. A lot of people don't go back and watch those older videos, and that's fine. I totally understand that. But I've got a lot of really good content back there. And so I feel like I was very chatty back then, like really chatty, unnecessarily chatty. So I can go back there and I can edit a lot of those to where they're much shorter. I can just get down to the point and just really focus on the recipe and move on. And I can take a video that I made that was maybe 15 minutes long and turn it into a video that's 4 or 6 minutes long, and just let you enjoy the process instead of hearing me do this. I know that I'm a talker. I know that I am. That is why the video you're watching today is long, because I haven't talked to you guys in a long time. So I just hope that you'll put up with me and enjoy it. Shh. So I'm just going to end that there. Again, you guys, if you want to see something, please let me know down below. If I can do it, I will try. I'm not making any promises. What I am going to do is I'm going to say I'm going to make an effort and I'm going to try real hard. I love you all and I thank you all, because without any of you, this channel isn't possible. I really want to thank you all also for sticking with me. Pippi, hush. I want to thank you all for sticking with me over this last year. 2023 was a nightmare for me. And my channel really did suffer for it. We are really paying for it on the back end of that. We're trying to catch up. We're trying to kind of deal with things in our own way. And, you know, things will get better for us. And that's a whole other story. So I hope that you have an amazing week. I hope that you will come back and see when I upload again. And until next time, I'll see you.